Before we get started working with Adobe Muse, I think it's important for you to understand the interface elements that are going to be presented in front of you when you first fire up the application. So in this movie, I'm going to take you on a brief tour of Adobe Muse so that you know where things are and how they work before you actually get started. So when you first launch up Adobe Muse CC, it's going to look something like this. You're going to have a welcome screen here where you can create a brand new site. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to click right here on Site. And that's going to create a new site, and I'm just going to hit OK. Don't worry about any of those options right now. We'll go through all of those in detail a little bit later. I just want to make you aware of the interface elements for now. So when you first jump into Muse after creating a new website, you're going to be brought into something called Plan View. And we're going to discuss what Plan View does a little bit later on, but just know that this is the first view that you see when you open up Muse. And so from Plan View, you have the ability to see whether or not objects are master pages. You can also turn thumbnails on and off. You can adjust the thumbnail size over here by clicking and dragging this little slider. You can switch from desktop to tablet to phone layouts for your website. And you can also jump into the different views that are available to you in Muse as well, like Design View, Preview, and also the Publish module as well. At the top, you have your menu system where you can go to various menu commands like the File menu, Edit menu, Page menu, etc. So anytime you hear me say, okay, let's go to the Edit menu, for instance, that's where I'm telling you to go click. All right, so this is the general interface for the Plan View. Let's actually take a look at Design View. So come down here and just click right here where it says A Master. And then what I'm going to do is just switch over to Design View. Don't worry about what's going on out here in the middle. Just worry about everything else around the outside of it. So I'm going to start at the top, work my way down. At the top, of course, we still have the menu structure. It's much the same as what we just saw. Directly underneath that, we have the application bar, which takes me to this zoom level where I can zoom in and out of my document. I can also go to a specific page, and I can change the view options over here. So I can turn rulers on and off, turn guides on and off. I can turn on the grid overlay, smart guides, all that different kind of stuff is able to be controlled from there. On the far right, again, I can switch my views over here. And then directly underneath this, we have this options bar. And so the options bar has different options depending on what you're doing at any given time and what you have selected at any given time inside of Muse. So for instance, right now it has things like fills and strokes and corner radius and things like that. That's all corresponding to if I had something like a rectangle selected on my screen. These options would change and adapt to different things like text, for instance, and allow me to change things like font size and all that good stuff. Over here on the left, we have the Tools panel. And so the Tools panel is pretty simple in Muse. We have a selection tool, a crop tool, a text tool, a rectangle tool, a hand tool, and a zoom tool. Very, very simple. Out here in the middle, this is your document window. If you have rulers turned on, you'll see rulers on the vertical and horizontal axes. And then out here in the middle, you will see the document itself, your web page. Over here on the right-hand side, we have the panel system inside of Muse. And I'm going to give you a little bit more of a breakdown of how to work with these in just a minute, but I just wanted to make you aware of where they are. Now, you can expand these out with this little arrow right here, and that's going to show you all of them. So you have things like the text, color, swatches, widgets library, state, scroll effects, layers, library, assets, etc. All of that is right here at your disposal. Now, when we talk about these panels a little bit later on, you will know where they are and also how to get to them just by clicking on the name that I call out. So if I say, okay, let's go to the color panel, you come up here, click where it says color, and the panel appears. If I say, okay, let's go to the scroll effects panel, find where it says scroll effects, click, and that will appear. Very easy to navigate your way through that. Now, if you find that you've sort of changed your workspace and you can't really figure out how to get it back to normal, it's very easy to do that. Just go to the window menu and choose Reset Panels. When you do that, everything snaps back into place as it would when you first fired up Muse, making it really easy for you to just get everything back into the working order that you had it in when you first started. Now, I can close this page by clicking this little X right here, and that's going to take me back out to the Plan View. And so that is going to wrap up our basic overview of the interface of Muse. We'll dive into each one of the different views like design and preview and all that good stuff in their own movies a little bit later, and I'll talk about the tools and also the panels in their own respective movies as well.